Welcome to the Anime Podcast channel. My name is Benji, and Oda, trust me, I'm trying to hold down the fandom while you take these breaks. But there's only so much that I can do, as you see right now. But on a serious note, we are going to be discussing chapter 1041 of One Piece, Komurasaki. And this chapter has so much to unpack, and I'm going to try my best to analyze every single portion of it. But before I start, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Me and my friends Taj, Phil, and Nick make weekly podcast episodes on all of your favorite anime and manga series. And if you haven't already, go ahead and join our Discord. We're probably talking about this One Piece chapter right now. But without further ado, let's begin. So to start, we start with the cover page story that details the events of Germa 66 and the aftermath of the Whole Cake incident. And we see Pudding slapping some sense into Yanji and Niji for the bullying that they had done to my boy Sanji. Now, to put it briefly, I believe that this is going to be the beginning of Pudding helping Yanji and Niji escape from Whole Cake. But before she does anything, I think she wants to make it clear that the way they treated Sanji was unforgivable. Yet she also realizes that they did help Sanji escape Whole Cake, so I feel like in some way, shape, or form, she will help them escape Whole Cake. Now, the bigger question is, now we know that Big Mom has been defeated by Law and Kid. What will happen to Whole Cake as well as Fishman Island, the two territories that Big Mom takes rule over? Now, I do think that Whole Cake will be in some kind of distress and chaos, but I don't feel like it'll completely falter. Obviously, I don't think Big Mom is dead, and her storyline is not done just yet. And that seems very apparent, especially during this flashback in this chapter. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But moving on, we continue with the Momo and Yamato conversation, and basically we're getting a little bit more details on the discussion that Momo had with Zunisha. And basically, Zunisha is waiting for the order from Momo to go ahead and murk all of these world government ships that have come to Wano. And Momo actually details that he cannot die just yet because his role in opening the borders of Wano is very pivotal. But Momo is a little bit distressed because Odin left out the most important portion of the journal, his trip to Laugh-Tale with Roger. Which I guess is very convenient for the story, but I digress. But nevertheless, the thing that really sticks for Momo's character is this quote he says right here. And Momo says this: "I am not as wise as he was. I think of the potential dangers to the people of Wano, and it makes me want to keep the borders shut. Does that make me a coward, Yamato?" Now, this shocks Momo, and I believe it's more so because she kind of sees how Momo may be thinking at this point. And even she doesn't necessarily know what's going to happen after the dust settles from this very decisive battle at Wano. Will the opening of Wano expose Wano to more dangers soon to come? Or does Momo know something from the journal that could potentially see danger coming to Wano a little bit later on that we don't know of? And two things that I really kind of take from this little discussion. One, obviously I've been reiterating this a lot in my chapter reviews. Momo's maturity during the Onigashima raid has completely changed from when we first met him at Punk Hazard. If you know what I mean. Seeing Momo really take the helm of what it truly means to be a shogun and really seem like he's for the people of the Flower Capital and the rest of Wano. So I really found that endearing with Momo, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm very excited to see what things kind of play out, especially once they do open up the borders of Wano. And secondly, I do believe that Zunisha coming to Wano is a very, very important piece that a lot of people are kind of overlooking. And even we may see how his connection with Joy Boy really connects to Wano, and everything just seems so interconnected with Zunisha, Momo, Joy Boy. So I do want to see what happens with that. And hopefully Zunisha kind of relieves Momo of the worries that he have of truly protecting Wano once it's freed its borders. But who knows, we will see. But moving forward, we finally have a victor for the Rizo and Fukuru Koju. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm wrong, then I'll just say flappy ears. Oh well. But we finally get a victor for that fight. This fight has been over 30 chapters, I think. And we finally have a winner for the battle. Obviously, we knew it was going to be Rizo. Now, I know what you're thinking. This fight wasn't really exciting in any kind of capacity. But once we actually see Jinbei actually arrive and he sees Rizo and he sees a a crispy floppy ears, and a not as crispy Rizo, Rizo says one line that completely throws me off, and I really want to know what he means. He says that the preparations are almost complete. Now, my only question is, does this allude to the Scabbards having planned some kind of secret thing that we have no idea about? And could that be why, in some way, shape, or form, Rizo was basically maybe stalling Floppy Ears from actually going to see Orochi? That we find out that they were supposed to meet at some point a little bit later on. But I don't know. I find this very interesting. I want to know what he means. I have absolutely no idea. So if you guys can think of anything, put it in the comments down below. Next, we get Orochi and Komurasaki, aka Hiyori. Now, I want to go ahead and say this about Hiyori. If she is able to pack up Orochi, she is going to be the starting 5 MVPs of this arc. I don't care what anyone says. We need that pack ASAP, Hiyori. We need it. I cannot stand this weasel. I can't. But we see that Orochi's paranoia is actually getting the best of him, which it has been for years. And we see that he's both calling out for both Kazimbo and Fukuru Koju. Oh, I think I said it right. So that's good. And basically, he's worried about his escape from Onigashima. And he's wondering if Fukuru Koji, I said it again, right? I think. Oh, who knows? And he's wondering if Floppy Ears actually left without him or not. But also, his paranoia also reflects back on Komurasaki. And he starts to wonder, why is she playing music at a time like this when everything seems to be dire? Now, out of nowhere, debris falls right on Orochi. Now, normally this wouldn't be an issue because Orochi does have a devil fruit. But Komurasaki explains that he hasn't noticed, but that she has stabbed this man with a sea prism nail, completely negating all of his devil fruit abilities. Now, if you guys remember, I do want to give a quick side note. Sea prism, I think, originates in Wano. So, obviously it wouldn't be, too far off for her not to have some kind of sea prism stone or a sea prism nail for that matter. And the funny thing is, Orochi thinks that how could Komurasaki do this because he thinks that she loves him, which is just a funny thought in general because this nigga is ugly. This is an ugly ass nigga. But Komurasaki actually explains that the song that she has been playing that Orochi likes so much was actually a song that, ironically, her father also loved, Odin. And this is when Komurasaki actually shakes Orochi to his core, when Komurasaki reveals that she is actually Hiyori, the daughter of Odin. Now, quick message to Hiyori again. Please go ahead and pack up this man. I'm tired of him. I need him to die. I need him to die ASAP. But moving along to another big portion of this chapter. Oda, you gotta let me breathe a little bit here. You gotta let me breathe. We get Izo versus some of the mass CP0 agents. If you do remember, Izo was like, yo, I want the smoke. You guys can't stay another step further. Now, it looks like both Izo and the CP0 agent both end up having wounds. And it seems to be in like a standstill. Now, the main CP0 agent is kind of looking to afar, but he looks pretty battered up as well, especially from his battle from Drake that he packed up Drake pretty bad. But yeah. Now, the thing is, Izo does say something where he says, live on, Kiku. I really hope that Izo doesn't die in this arc, because that would be completely sad. I really like Izo. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm really hoping that he doesn't die. But the main CP0 agent is actually pretty upset for Izo actually getting in the way, and really is questioning why Izo is really getting in the way. What is his purpose of getting in the way in the first place? Yet he soon receives a call via Dindin Mushi, and is reiterating that the Gorosei have specific orders for him to eliminate Straw Hat Luffy. Now, at this point, I don't know what they're thinking, but the funny thing is, imagine hearing this call. I can just see my man's just like this.
What more do you want from me?
But seriously, I find it so impossible, and even he finds it impossible. How are you supposed to get into the way of two of these monsters, Kaido and Luffy? But the Gorosei, they understand this, and they actually state this. We are aware of the difficulties. The world-class nature of this battle is what makes this important. Don't you get it? This order is a necessary precaution. Now, my impression of this is that the Gorosei are very aware that whatever happens in this battle, if even the slightest chance that Luffy were to beat Kaido, the complete balance of the world will completely be uneven, which the world government and the Gorosei have been trying so hard to keep. And just the slightest possibility that Luffy would defeat Kaido would send the natural balance into chaos. And might I add, might lead the world government to start a great cleansing. And I'll kind of get into that a little bit later on in a video later. But we also get a couple more things from this chapter. Hamlin and Usopp, if you guys do remember, Hamlin is the giraffe looking guy. Basically, they are helping Kiku and Kinemon get to safety. And if you do remember, this is very fitting of Usopp's speech, making sure that both Kiku and Kinemon live on. We also move on to Frankie, who is actually able to make it to Zoro in time using his extendo claw arm, robotic arm, I don't know what it is. But basically, he's able to save Zoro. And I do want to say this to all the Zoro fans who still believe in ZKK. I don't think that shit happening. It looked like Zoro down for the count. And like I said, I say that respectfully. Zoro has done so much this arc. I don't see why in the world you would think that he'll get in the way of this Luffy and Kaido battle. But, you know, I digress. And we also see Nami Swan, and she looks like she has just discovered that Big Mom has been defeated. And the funny thing is, though, Zeus, one of Big Mom's homies, actually realizes it too, and he's kind of sad. And it's kind of endearing, obviously, because I feel like that's a part of Big Mom's soul in some kind of essence. But also Nami's like, who would you rather be with, Big Mom or me? And then Zeus is like, you. So yeah, he doesn't want to betray Nami again. And we also see Otama and Marco. Now Marco says something that truly stands out, and he says this: "We can't drop our guard yet. The island is still the most dangerous place on the planet." And this just makes more important how this battle, or these conclusive battles of Wano, will be. How they'll determine and dictate the balance of the world. That's why the Gorosei seems so adamant about eliminating Luffy. And then we fast forward to the GOATs, Law and Kid, doing the absolute impossible by defeating the first Yonko of the post-time skip. And their crews are celebrating even though they did absolutely nothing to help. And they're proverbially useless. But as all of this is happening, there's debris falling from the rooftop, and we can kind of indicate that this is from Luffy and Kaido's battle. Oh, by the way, Law and Kid can't move because they're extremely exhausted from that crazy battle that they had with Big Mom. And the thing that's really crazy to really think about is knowing how we've seen Law and how we've just recently kind of gotten to Kid's story, not necessarily his backstory, but his story, and seeing how they've become strong enough to take down one of the 4 great Yonkos in the series, post-time skip. I don't know, it's just a crazy feat to really conceptualize. These Yonkos have been hyped up to such high degree, and seeing the new generation step in and kind of taking their thrones, so dope to see. I'm loving every single second of this arc. But let's get to the demon time with my boy Luffy and his antagonist Kaido. So we continue with the Luffy and Kaido battle, and we see yet another class of conquerors, which result in another standstill, of course. So Kaido feels that Big Mom's presence has been diminished, and in essence, she has been defeated. And he screams, "Lin Lin, they beat her." Now Luffy says a comment basically kind of giving props to Kid. I don't necessarily think at that time he knew that Law was with Kid at the time, but obviously it was the combined efforts of Law and Kid. But I'm pretty sure after Wano we'll kind of see some back and forth between the three about how they beat a Yonko, this, that, and the third. But next we see a flashback of Kaido first meeting Big Mom. And I gotta say, you know, waifu alert, you feel me? Yeah, but I'm gonna be classy. Big Mom does look amazing, and she does seem to have a lot of ambition and a lot of vigor in this panel or this flashback. And I will say this, she does look kind of like Yamato. I wonder what that means. Well, anyway, so not gonna say much, but this flashback shows Big Mom, and basically she says this dialogue right here. 15, to be young. So this is your first time teaming up with Rocks. He's a good for nothing, don't trust him. If something bugging you, come tell me. The name's Lin Lin. I'm the woman who'll rule these seas. And it's really nice to see the ambition of both Kaido when he first actually met King, and also this kind of ambitious Big Mom. Both of these Yonko had ambition to go ahead and take over the seas. And they did that in tandem with working with rocks. And I really want to see what divulged for both Kaido and Big Mom to really decline ever since. To really whether they always like this, like vile and evil. Now, I won't say Big Mom is necessarily evil, but also Kaido reiterates that his time with Big Mom, they have a long, long history together. And then Kaido goes into another drunken battle phase, saying how could he let this happen? Him and Big Mom were supposed to find the One Piece. But forget all of that. Look at this side panel of my boy Luffy. And just emanating with all kind of Black Air Force energy, all kind of ministry. Ministry. I think that's a word. Who knows? Now, people are alluding to Luffy kind of resembling, obviously, Journey to the West, Wukong, which a lot of people feel like Luffy is actually inspired by, hence the name Monkey D. Luffy. But this panel is absolutely demonic, so fire. I really love how Oda really kind of sketched it. It reminds me of the fierce face that Katakuri actually gave during the Whole Cake Island arc. But it's preceded by a super dope double spread of Luffy going into his Gear 4th Snake Man. And he's using a new attack called Hydra. Now, I don't know if this is a nod to Magellan back in, I believe it was Impel Down, his attack. But obviously, this double panel is super fire. And we see a variety of punches all going towards Kaido. And Luffy says this: "Don't talk to me about your dreams. Your dreams made the people of this country starve." Which is facts. Like, Kaido really isn't redeemable at all. The fact of the matter is, he's impoverished a lot of Wano just for his own greed. Luffy then said he's giving Gear 4 for one last go. Now, quick, in the summary, Luffy was translated to say that this was his final form of Gear 4 for his final attack. And then we end with Luffy saying he'll kick Kaido out of the country of Wano. And no breaks next week. Let's go! Now, do I think that Kaido is finished after this attack? Hell no, I do not. That would be the weakest defeat ever for such a highly touted antagonist. But from here on out, I think that Kaido will be motivated from Big Mom's defeat, and Luffy will be motivated even more to take down Kaido. And I believe in the next couple chapters, we'll see a significant power up from both Kaido and Luffy, and both of them will go completely all out. It'll break the internet. I hope it does. But it'll really go crazy. I can't wait to see these next couple chapters of this decisive battle. And I do want to see what CP0 does, because I don't know how the fuck they're going to interrupt this battle between these two monsters. But yeah, I'm super excited to see what happens. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know of what you guys thought of the chapter in the comments down below. And go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. My name is Benji, and I will see you guys in the very next chapter review. Thank you.